Alrighty, fanboys and fangirls, it looks like the Google Pixel 6 is already starting up. We've got a few indications according to some developer previews, and we're going to take a look and see what they suggest about the Pixel 6 in the coming updates. Also on today's episode, a new Apple Pencil has been spotted, and I'm going to talk about it and explain why I might and might not believe it, but definitely something to keep your eye on. And lastly, MagSafe, a new charging patent has been filed, and it gives us even more details on the possible new portless iPhone in the future to come. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. YouTube, what's poppin'? Michael here, welcome back to Technoid. I hope you're doing well, I hope you all are staying safe. Now real quickly before we start the video, I just have a big announcement. I have finally got the hang of Final Cut Pro, so this video today will be the last video that I use iMovie. As you guys know, I have been trying to learn Final Cut Pro. I have finally learned the software tools. It is so much better, it is so much easier for me, and I am going to start using it in the next episode, so I definitely hope it will improve the quality of our videos going forward, and I really hope you guys enjoy the quality. All that out of the way, let's get it going. So story number one, the main story, let's talk about the Google Pixel 6. Now it's been a while since I've talked about the Google Pixel, as Google really hasn't made any big splash about it. I know there have been a few models that people are buying and I haven't really been paying them attention, but I haven't lost sight of them either. Well, it looks like the Pixel 6 is on its way and everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to know, what is this phone gonna bring? Like, what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a flagship? Is it going to be a mid-range, or is it going to be both? Well, it looks like the Pixel 6 is going to possibly be a true flagship. After all the complaints and a lot of people saying they appreciate that the Pixel 6 has a cheaper price point, the specs inside could have used a little bit better, which, you know, I don't know what to say to that. But taking a look inside of some developers, according to this developer on Twitter where he shows a code in Android 12 for the Google Pixel, it says here in Developer Preview 1, there is a settings app that is preparing full support of devices with both facial authentication and fingerprint scanners. Not much else to explain, but if you take a look at the codes, it does give you an indication that there is going to be multi-biometric support. Now, again, this would be all and well if we know that Android 12 is going to support these devices, but the thing is, this was found in the Pixel software, not a Android 12 beta in regular stock Android. This was found in the Pixel device, meaning that a developer who develops for Pixels found this in the code. So this is I would say an indication that Google is going to still remain with the fingerprint scanner, but they're also going to have a backup in case. So maybe it's possible that the device will support 2 authentications, but whether or not they're going to do that, I don't know. But taking a look further, it looks like in the developer preview, there is also an indication of the 6XL. According to the developer once again, the system setting UI is tweaked to be more accommodating for one-hand usage. So there are key elements like buttons, toggles, checkboxes that are much more closer to the bottom, and they are drastically changed and have a more one-handed friendly authentication. So again, this all goes back to the Pixel device, and I think at the end of the day, I'm really all for it. I don't think there's anything to disagree. Basically what we're getting here is that the Pixel 6 model, whatever this variant is going to be, it's pretty much going to be very similar to the Samsung One UI, but it's also going to introduce multi-biometric support. Now again, we don't have much to talk about with the 6 and 6L, but taking a look further at the rumors, and then I'm going to move on to the second story, it seems that the Pixel 6 and 6L are going to be a 6-inch model, respectively, and a 5.8-inch model. Now, those configurations are pretty good. I think that that's relatively fair. But again, these are early rumors, so I will be updating them constantly. But overall, I think that these Pixel ranges are going to be more along the lines of a mid-range to flagship, because Google really hasn't made a big splash. They make some very good phones, they have great cameras, but there's not a lot of buzz about it, and it kind of sucks because they are supposed to be the iPhones of Android. You know, get your updates on day one and better support than most Androids. So I really want to see Google flesh out the Pixel devices. I really want to see them expanded, but most of all, they gotta step it up. And I know they know that they're not doing a good job because they admitted it last year with the release of the Google Pixel 5 when they put in that less superb 765 processor. So overall, Google, step your game up. Story number 2, now that we've talked about the Pixel 6 XL, let's talk about the Apple Pencil update. Now this is not a story that I'm gonna spend literally minutes talking about, I'm just gonna talk about it real quick. Basically, there's a rumor going around and an image floating that there is a new Apple Pencil on the rise, probably hinting at an iPad refresh, but taking a look at the Pencil, I'm like, I don't know if this is real. Now, to be fair, I'm not ruling it out that it's not possible we will see an Apple Pencil refresh, but at the same breath, I don't kind of get why they would go back to a gloss finish, because it does show that it will be a quote-unquote redesign. The image doesn't really give you much, but the tip of the head looks a little bit bigger, so that's probably one area, but the whole Pencil itself is glossy. Now, if you look at the iPad Pro currently, you will see that the pencils are matte, and a lot more people like the matte finish versus the gloss finish. So I don't know if I'm gonna take this seriously, but at the same breath, I won't rule it out because of that tip head and also some indications pointing for the iPad. So, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. And last story, the last one we're gonna do and then we're out of here, let's talk about the MagSafe patent. Now, as you know, I have been talking about the portless iPhone for a while and basically saying that last year's model is going to be or next year's model is supposedly going to still keep the Lightning port. Well, according to a patent, it looks like Apple has filed and granted this patent. It says here that there will be a new kind of envision for typing of some kind of charging port, basically a MagSafe charger for the iPhone. Now, taking a look at the patent, it is very, very similar to what the Max had. However, though, if we take a look at it closely, it doesn't look anything like what Apple's doing right now. So do I think that this is going to be a new port that we're going to see? Probably not. I think that if Apple is going to totally eliminate the port, it's going to be MagSafe the way we see it, wirelessly charging. But could this be a replacement for data syncing and transfer? That is a possibility because, as you know, MagSafe on its own is just a wireless charging pad with magnetics around it. The coils don't support any data transfer speeds, it doesn't support any syncing, it is just made to charge only. Now, this port could possibly be a data sync transfer, but at that point, it feels just like a port. So I don't know what we're gonna see in this portless iPhone, when it's gonna come, but if the patent gives us any idea that this could be possible in the future, then it's definitely something to keep an eye on. But do I think that they're gonna go with it? Probably not, but it is good to see that Apple is trying to figure out ways to work around, especially with the new MagSafe that we have right now. So we'll wait and see how long it is, and do I think it's gonna happen? Probably not, because the MagSafe we have right now, more people are adapted to it. So definitely something to keep your eye on. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button to help circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and peace.